Hey everybody, welcome back. I am Sahil Bansal, and in this series we are discussing Code of Civil Procedure 1908 with focus on clarity, structure and a close reading of the text of the legislation and judicial case laws. So in the last session we began by discussing the structure of CPC. At length we discussed how it has been divided, how it has been drafted, who drafted it. We discussed that we have sections which are contained in parts. We discussed that we have rules which are contained in the orders, and the part with sections is called the main body of CPC, and the first schedule is what contains the orders and rules. We also discussed how we are going to read sections with orders, how we are going to understand the division of CPC in itself, why it doesn't matter to understand it, and how simple is this division of information. It's nothing but the way of arranging information. We discussed a couple of other things. We also took a number of examples to understand how sections and orders have to be discussed together. We discussed how certain sections may not have orders, and that's nothing worrying. It's only because there's not enough information or because there's no need to give that much information. So something might be just contained in sections. There might be something that's only contained in the orders because that's how the drafters felt it appropriate to do it. We discussed that it had the CPC of today, 1908, had a predecessor which had many more sections and only had sections divided into chapters. So it's all about arrangement of information, and it's nothing more than that. The nomenclature is something that you have to understand, that's all. It's nothing big, it's nothing worrisome. But before we proceed, we also flagged some sections. We flagged a lot of sections where we discussed some information also. We also tried to get a foregrounder into what we are going to see throughout this series. We tried picking on some topics by way of seeing examples for orders and sections. Then we proceeded to discuss the ethos of CPC. Why do we need CPC? We discussed that we have substantive law, we have procedural law. Why do we have substantive law, and why do we need procedural law? We discussed a Latin maxim, ubigio sibi remedium, how that maxim is compendious enough to completely cover all of the discussion that we are having about the need for having a procedural law, about the need for having a substantive law, about the need for having an effective executable remedy. We looked at various things. We looked at how certain ideals of constitution, we have justice, equity and good conscience, we have reasonableness. We took each of these ideals and we looked at examples from CPC, because CPC is also subscribing to these ideals. CPC is also subscribing to this larger aim of meting out justice, of protecting the social relations, of ensuring that the social fabric is operating smoothly. And we saw real examples from CPC. People take a dive into the CPC and people go to the topics and that's about it. And then they feel that it's very abstract. It's not. We saw yesterday how it is actually very connected to the ideals that we're trying to achieve through the law in general, and there are no separate ideals that are applicable to CPC. They are all those constitutional ideals, the idea of constitutional morality, that morality is ingrained in the CPC as much it is ingrained in the Constitution, as much it is ingrained in Indian Penal Code or Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, or as much it is ingrained in Code of Civil Procedure, Code of Criminal Procedure, or Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita as we have it now. We discussed all of this at length. Now, before we proceed, there are also certain sections which tell you this existence, which acknowledges this existence of sections, orders and rules. If you come to the index of CPC, let's first go to index and then we will go to the provision. Let's look at the index. Come to sections 121 to 131. Section 121 to 131, they are contained in part 10. Now you know what I'm telling you. Part 10, so you will know where to go. You will go to the main body of the section because we're talking about a part. Part 10, it's titled as rules. So it's acknowledging that there are rules that exist in the CPC. Now if you see sections 121 to 131, they're very simple sections which if you merely read, you'll understand. What they're talking about is, how will the CPC operate? First of all, it acknowledges how it has been divided, that there are sections and that there is a first schedule. Then it tells you that first schedule is not something that is to be relegated to the end and hence it's not important. It's telling you first schedule is as important as the main body of the legislation. Then it tells you who can amend the first schedule, who can amend the main body, who can amend the sections, and what effect will such amendment have. Let's actually go and see section 121. Please come to section 121. Effect of rules in first schedule. The rules in the first schedule shall have same effect as if enacted in the body of this code. Body of this code is referring to sections. So it's saying that the rules by mere way of existing in a first schedule do not end up being less important than the main body of the code. And this is what it's saying. The rules in the first schedule shall have effect how? What is the nature of the effect that they will have? As if, that is similar to, as if enacted in the body of this code until annulled or altered in accordance with the provisions of this part. So any alterations or annulment is basically putting it out of effect or cancelling it from the very start. That's the effect that annulment has. How will you alter or annul the rules? You will annul them in consonance with part 10. This part is referring to part 10. So part 10 is giving you the rules to amend the rules in the CPC, that's in the first schedule. So these are the sections that will tell you the rules. For example, let's see section 122. Power of certain high courts to make rules. High courts, not being the court of judicial commissioner, may from time to time after previous publication make rules regulating their own procedure, high court rules, and the procedure of the civil courts subject to their superintendence. The rules, what rules are governing the procedure of a civil court? The rules in CPC. So these rules, who can amend them? The High Court can amend them. And may by such rules annul, what can be done? What sort of changes can be brought to these rules? Annul, they can be completely done away with. Alter, rule can be kept and some changes can be made. Or add, there is already a rule which is giving you certain rule about the procedure of how a case will proceed in a civil court. And there is some more additional information that the High Court feels should be added to that rule to make it more effective. They can add to it. To all or any of the rules in the first schedule. So the High Courts, they have the power to amend these rules by way of amendment. They can be annulled, they can be altered, they can be added to. Let's read it again as a whole now. High Courts, not being a court of a judicial commissioner, may, from time to time, after previous publication, everybody needs to know the law. If you have some reading or understanding of jurisprudence, take the example of King Rex. You can't have a country where the law is changing and citizens don't know, because they need to know the law to follow it. So if they don't know the law, how will they follow it? That's why the importance of previous publication. The High Courts may, from time to time after previous publication, make rules regulating their own procedure and the procedure of civil courts subject to their superintendence. High courts have superintendence over the civil courts. Their superintendence carries weight. We have different high courts for different states. So a high court, when it's altering or amending or annulling or adding to a rule, that change will be applicable to the civil court which is under its superintendence, that is, which is in that state. The procedure of civil courts subject to their superintendence and may by such rules annul, alter or add to all or any of the rules in the first schedule. Then if you see 123, it's talking about constitution of rule committees in certain states. A committee to be called the rule committee shall be constituted at the town which is the usual place of sitting of each of the high courts referred to in section 122. So you can have a rule committee also. Then subsection 2 of 123 tells you who all will be there in this rule committee. You have 3 judges of the High Court established at the town at which such committee is constituted, one of whom at least has served as district judge or a divisional judge for 3 years. Then you will also have 2 legal practitioners enrolled in that court. You see the importance, that court, their superintendence in 122. So law is very organized. Everybody has their own jurisdiction, and that you can see here. It's ingrained everywhere. And who else will be there in this rule committee? A judge of a civil court subordinate to the High Court. The High Court, not any High Court, not a High Court, the High Court. So these are some sections which are telling you how can rules be amended, how can rules be changed, who will do it. The High Courts can do it. Remember this, because usually the amendment of law is done by the legislature. But here you have special rules, special sections, a whole part titled as rules, which tells you that High Courts are the ones who can amend these rules. Then, subsection 3 of section 123, the members of each committee shall be appointed by the High Court, which shall also nominate one of their members to be the president. Subsection 4, each member of any such committee shall hold office for such period. So it's telling you about the time period of the office. How long will such members hold office? Power can't be absolute. One person made to hold an office will not be given the privilege of holding it for their whole lifetime, unless the law says so.